Well, hello there, everybody. It's that time once again. This is episode 2 of our Burgers and Fries Game Talk. And I am Tony. I go by TTBurger88 on YouTube. And I actually just released my newest review today as of this recording on the game No One Can Stop Mr. Domino, a game that I did not like when I was younger, but as I got older, I started to enjoy it more because even though I do still suck at the game, I still enjoy it because I'm getting better and it's fun, it's challenging, and it keeps you wanting more from the game and stuff. And for today, I'm not alone for this episode. Once again, I'm joined by...
Hey, what's going on? It's LunarNocturne. Please excuse any voices you hear. I'm actually my school's internet connection. I have a roommate and all, so I have to find some obscure part of the school. I'm in the school. I'm in some part of the cafeteria that no one goes to. So.
Yeah, that's understandable. There, it's so it's all good. We know you're in a public place, so we'll just do our best we can here. And what to talk about for our podcast? As of today, I actually finally beat the game Resident Evil 0 because I got the game for the GameCube and I got stuck because there was a part I did not know what to do, so I gave up on that game. But then when we sold the GameCube, I could not get back into playing it, so because I didn't have the GameCube. But then when they released it, the Resident Evil Origins Collection, I got back into it, and I finally beat that game for the first time ever yesterday. It took me only 17 years to beat the game, but now I can finally say I beat Resident Evil 0, and Resident Evil 0 is definitely one of my favorite Resident Evil games. It comes very close to Resident Evil 3 and stuff, because with how it has the main character's a female protagonist, and how, I don't know, just some type of charm and feel that Resident Evil 0 has. Especially because, that's good, because with the Resident Evil 3 remake coming out in April and stuff, we don't know what we're going to expect from that.
I've heard mixed reactions to Resident Evil 0. I know I've never played Resident Evil 0, by the way, but I know that it takes place sometime right before the Raccoon City event.
That's true.
And that's about all the context I have. Other than that, I don't know anything about it.
Well, a lot of people liked how you were able to leave items anywhere you want, and how you were able to how you were able to have this partner system, and it could also kind of be co-op too. I mean, it's a little different from other Resident Evil games because you got the partner system. You can switch partners and you can leave items anywhere you want. There's some strategy in there with the partner system and stuff, and it takes place. The first part of the game takes place on this abandoned train called the Ecliptic Express that was overrun by the mutants of the T virus, thanks to a leech queen version of Dr. Marcus, and everyone above on the train turned into a zombie, and Rebecca Chambers goes into it, and that's where she meets the second protagonist, Billy Cohen, who's pretty much on a run because he's got a sentencing he has to serve for killing 23 people. But that's kind of another topic for another day, because I'm gonna review the Resident Evil games in the future, and I'm definitely gonna review Resident Evil 0. But since I finally beat Resident Evil 0, I can finally play the games chronologically, from 0, then 1, then 2, then 3. Code Veronica, it's a very hard game, so I'm trying to beat that, and then 4 and stuff, and so on there. So yeah, but definitely, I mean, I wish I would have been able to beat the game when I had it on the GameCube, because I'm sure beating it back then, it would have meant more. But I mean, it still does mean a lot to me, but I'm sure it would have meant more to be able to beat the GameCube version, definitely.
Yes, I do now. Actually, I am able to play it, so there's no excuse for me to So I actually have the Resident Evil Origins collection, but I've not bothered even 0. Matter of fact, I did not bring the Origins collection with me when I moved here.
Yeah, I have it for the PS4. I got a physical copy of it, which has both Resident Evil 0 and Resident Evil Remake of 2002. And the truth is, I have beaten both of them, but when it comes to the remake and versus the original Resident Evil, I prefer the original more because it's what started it all and stuff. I mean, for me, the true way to play the original Resident Evil is playing the original 1996 version in the long box without the auto aim, without not the non-director's cut version stuff and all that stuff. So yeah, that is the way to go. And I was very bad. I mean, I played director's cut first, but then I got the original. I mean, I was having a lot of trouble with the original Resident Evil, but then I found a way how to beat the game. I pretty much all the first stage sprays I get, or almost all of them, I pretty much saved them to the end, and all the mixtures and stuff I get, I mix them all with green, red, and green and red herbs. And if I find the blue herbs, I'll mix a blue herb in there, and then I'll save those and stuff to be sure I have enough health and stuff. Because when I first played it, I kept abusing all my first stage sprays and using them all up and stuff. So I pretty much had nothing left for the final fight, and I pretty much was toast. But that wasn't. Then I realized that I'll use those, and it makes the game it makes the game easier. Then I mean, sure, it's still a tough game. I mean, without the auto aim, it's still tough, but that is the way to play it, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I haven't played enough of the Origins collection to know whether or not you can or cannot turn the auto aim off.
I just leave it as it is because it's just I mean, even though I don't mind auto aim, because with the newer games I prefer the auto aim more and stuff. With the thing like with 2 and 3 and stuff like that, and Code Veronica stuff. It's better with the auto aim, especially Code Veronica, because how dark that game is. Like the lighting is so dark, it's hard to see enemies. So it's good that they have the auto aim on for that.
I can see it, and also heard, just as you said earlier, I've also heard from many people that Code Veronica X is also a difficult title. I have the game, but I'm just too lazy to play it. There's a lot of games on my table right now. Like right now, I'm trying to get through Dragon Quest XI, but yeah.
Yeah, it's very tough. It's very, very, very tough. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's one of the toughest games I ever played. In fact, it's very, very hard. I mean, I'll admit right now, I had to use Game Shark codes to beat Code Veronica. I've only beaten it one time, and it was a really, really pain in the neck. But it's just very, very, very tough. I mean, I like it, but it's really, really hard. I mean, that game can be very unforgiving at times. If you miss certain items, so like that, the game will penalize you badly.
What are the penalties, now that you mention it?
Well, if you miss getting the bow gun, you're stuck with the handgun, and you can run out of ammo easily for that. Or let's see here, if you're poisoned or so, it'll be tough to find some herbs and stuff. There's some blue herbs and stuff.
I can see it. But yeah, I'm tempted. I'm actually tempted to go back to my dorm after all this and give Code Veronica a try, because I brought my PlayStation 2 and a plethora of games with me.
Yeah, because at first Code Veronica was first on the Dreamcast, but of course I didn't own a Dreamcast, so I couldn't really play it. But when I first heard about Code Veronica X, I thought Code Veronica X was a sequel to Code Veronica, but then it turns out, if you look at the box art for the Dreamcast version and the PlayStation 2 version, it's the same thing. It's the same game. In fact, the game was released on the GameCube as well. I don't know if you knew about this, but after Resident Evil 0 came out and stuff, Nintendo started releasing Resident Evil 2 and 3 and Code Veronica on the GameCube. But you'd think, because when I first heard it, I thought it was going to be remakes and stuff. But it was the exact same games as they were back when they came out in 1998 and 1999 and stuff like that. So they were the same type of. I mean, the graphics were a little bit better, but it was the same thing, and it was expensive, like $40 or so. And you could tell that they were the same thing, because even the box art was the same. You look behind and the graphics were the same, and I mean, it was just a cheap way to port these somewhat what year old games, like 4 or 5 year old games to a new console, which didn't even worth it, because I almost got tempted into buying them, but thankfully I was smart and did not get suckered in.
Yeah, and to Nintendo's credit, I will give them points for trying to, cash in on the hype of Resident Evil, because Resident Evil 4 was very popular at the time, and I think it got a concurrent re-release. I mean, that's a re-release. It got a concurrent release on the GameCube alongside the PlayStation 2 version.
I had both the GameCube and the PlayStation 2 version, and I like I prefer the PS2 version more because I'm more fan of the PlayStation 2 controller with the D-pad. I mean, like
Same here.
a lot of people hate the tank controls with the D-pad, but truth is, I never had a problem with them. My thumb never gets sore playing with the D-pad. It's probably because my left thumb is double jointed, but I don't know that that's the case. But like the red I'm fine with the tank controls. I'm fine with the tank controls. Like I never had a problem with them, and still don't have a problem with them. I mean, like I played all the classic ones with the tank controls, and it was perfectly fine with me. Never had a problem with them. And like I've also played Resident Evil Deadly Silence, Resident Evil DS, and stuff. Which interesting idea on paper, but I'm not a portable gaming fan though.
Oh I've heard of. I've never really seen many screen. I've only seen one screenshot of Resident Evil Deadly Silence, but other than that, I know very little about it.
I don't like the remix soundtrack they have in it and stuff, and just like it just had the stupid bit touchscreen things. I was never a fan of the Nintendo DS. I mean, like the PSP was better, but that Nintendo DS just there weren't that many good games out for it. I mean, they only had a few good games out that I liked, like I mean, Resident Evil DS was one of them. Super Mario 64 DS, Ridge Racer DS, which since I'm a big Ridge Racer fan, which I will review the Ridge Racer series someday in the future. People be on the lookout for that. So, because since I'm a Sony guy, Ridge Racer has to be on that list because like the very first PS1 game to be released in North America was Ridge Racer, so you can't go wrong there. You gotta review it.
Yeah, definitely. Review what you like. Tell people, yo, this is one of my favorite games. Here's why I like it. Give all the pros and cons, shit like that.
Yeah, definitely. Because and it was made by my favorite video game company at the time, Namco, and Namco was my favorite video game company back then. They're not as good as they used to be, but back then I loved Namco with Ridge Racer, with Tekken, with Ace Combat, and Time Crisis, Cyber Sled, Starblade Alpha, and Soul Blade, Soul Calibur, and all that stuff. Just yeah, it's fascinating if you ask me. Like Namco, yeah, like Namco was definitely good times. They're good times. I mean, I would pay to have all those classic Namco games because some of them were very rare and fun, and some of them were cheap and were not hard to find. Stuff like that, like mainly Starblade Alpha. Trying to find that game in complete condition, in good condition, is very very hard. You'll be spending lots of money.
Cool games, very like you'll be paying the amount of a used car just to get your hands on even on a used old school copy of something like Earthbound.
I never played Earthbound stuff, but trying to find a copy of games like Rule of Rose, good luck trying to. Or Kuan. Kuan is very, very expensive. Very, very expensive. I mean, I could get it, but I'm not going to spend $300 on something like that. I mean, Rule of Rose, yeah, that was a different story because Rule of Rose was different because it was cheaper, but Kuan, hell no. No. It's almost as bad as how much Misadventures of Trombone is on the PS1.
And I think one of the reasons that Rule of Rose is hard to find now is because I think the UK halted sales of it because there was a controversy.
Yes, there was.
With children, with child soldiers in the game or something.
Yeah, they killed killing the dog and kidnapping the main character and stuff. Yeah, it held a lot of controversy because the game takes place in UK itself in the 1930s, and just. That game is so emotional. It's one of the saddest cutscenes ever. And if you see the cutscene, you see the main character Jennifer crying and stuff. It's very, 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 very emotional. I'm not going to explain what happens in it because I'm sure there's going to be people who want to know want to play the game and know what happens. But it's just very, very, very emotional and stuff. I mean, for a survival horror game, that's definitely horror for the main character and stuff because of what she goes through. I mean, it's just awful. I mean, yes, I'm going to review that game someday. Maybe for next Halloween I will review it. Or maybe before Halloween. Or if Minutes of House have a horror mood, I don't know. I mean, we'll definitely see what happens there. But, yeah, a lot of good survival horror games. As we were talking about Resident Evil and stuff, I just thought to talk more about that there. But we kind of talked enough about Resident Evil. Let's talk about a little more about, like, you've heard of the PlayStation Classic, haven't you, Lunar? That PlayStation Classic that came out a couple years ago? You've heard about that, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I remember it. I also remember like the sales of it tanked so hard that it got to a point where they were selling it for $20.
Oh like, yeah,
that's the cost.
I don't remember how I first learned about that, but when I saw that there was only like 20 games or something like that, I knew I wasn't gonna get sucked into getting it. I mean, like because you could play you could play it in HDMI. That's great. Those games were never meant to be played in HDMI because there was no HDMI around at the time. The games look fine the way they are. I don't know why I would need I would need another console just to play it in HDMI when the game already looks fine as it is. I mean, like HD was nothing big back then. And of course, like the games, it should have some good games like Tekken 3 and Metal Gear Solid and Resident Evil Director's Cut, the one without the crappy DualShock soundtrack and stuff, and Cool Borders 2 and Final Fantasy 7 and such.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
and Revelations Persona was on there, which to me that came as a shock because Persona is as mainstream as it has gotten now. Persona is kind of still like has this underground feel to it. To see that it's gotten so big that even Sony's going to put it on their classic, on their little classic novelty console, that's pretty nice. But yeah, go on.
I never cared for Persona. Persona just never really interested me. It just looked kind of boring and stuff for Persona and stuff. It's kind of similar to how I felt when I played Grandia. I never cared for Grandia. Never cared for Persona and stuff. I mean, I have played Grandia and I didn't really care for it. It was just boring for me. Same with Rhapsody, a musical adventure. Just never. I mean, it's interesting to have like these songs in like Japanese and English and that's only voice acting, but still. I don't like tactical. I mean, I don't like tactical RPGs or anything like that and stuff. I'm not a fan of strategies or tactical games like that. So, it's just not my cup of tea there. I mean, like it was an interesting idea for the PlayStation Classic, but the thing is that the PlayStation Classic was just like what they should have done is like release new games each month or so, or every couple weeks, and do something like that. And that thing would have been a success, and I probably would have bought it. But only 20 games, half of them are average at best, and some of them are good ones. But like frame rate bogs down and stuff. I mean, I knew it was gonna tank, but I know people were suckered into buying it because they wanted something to play with a classic PlayStation because they wanted their HDMI, but you can easily find a PS1 for like less than $20 and stuff. Even the bulky one too and stuff. Like I use because I have two PlayStations, my slim one and my regular one. My regular one is what I use to record the footage and stuff for the games, and the slim one is the one by the TV. It's the same with my PlayStation 2. I use the original version to record footage, and the slim one just to play on my TV and stuff. And of course, with the PS3, that's different because I only have one working PS3 because my original 80 gig one bit the dust. So no point even trying to use that thing. It's gonna bite the dust and freeze on you a lot. So I just switch it out back and forth. But that's just me though. But since I was saying that I don't like tactical games here, Lunar, do you like tactical strategy games at all or no?
Oh yes, I'm very in love with tactical RPGs from Fire Emblem to.
No. I mean I meant to say real time strategy. I mean, but go ahead and finish what you're saying.
Real-time strategy. I'm not a big fan of it.
Neither am I. I mean, this is gonna be a shock to people who don't know this or don't know me. Real-time strategy games are my least favorite gaming genre of all time. I'm sorry. I mean, if people like it, I understand, but I'll tell you this. So, real-time strategies are boring for me because how can you have? I mean, for me, I just don't see any fun of trying to command this person to go there or command this person to go there when you'd rather be actually doing the fighting or whatever you're doing. It's just not that much fun. I mean, Lego Rock Raiders was like that, and like of course there was Arm and RTS. I mean, these are games I have played, and that's why I'm not a fan of Warcraft or World of Warcraft or any of those things because strategy games are just not my thing. I mean, Heroes of Might and Magic was not my cup of tea either. I just don't like those things. I mean. I just don't see a point in just running around, just commanding people where to go. It's just boring. I mean, I guess it's something to play if you want to fall asleep or so. If you want to fall asleep, I guess that's one good thing about it. But I just don't care for real time strategies.
Real-time strategies, it's one of those gaming genres where I don't really have a reason for why I don't play it. It's one of those genres that I observe from a distance saying, it's pretty cool, and then, I just forget it exists. I don't hate it or anything, no. It's just one of those things that I've just... it's just one of those things you just see and just acknowledge its existence, but have no opinion of.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's just, hey, I give them credit for trying, but it's just nothing that interests me. Nothing that interests me at all. But
But
go ahead.
But what I do love about real-time strategy games is just seeing all the artwork for it, from the cover art to all the cutscenes, even the trailers for them. I'll give them credit for that.
Yeah, but those are just trailers and stuff. They don't really affect or have an impact on the game at all or anything. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
But I think we talked enough about that here. But like, as of this recording, in 12 days, today's January 31st, Yakuza Remaster Collection will finally be coming out for the PlayStation 4, and I am excited about that because we finally get a physical version of Yakuza 5 and the entire and the rest of the Kazuma Kiryu games on PS4. So now you'll have them all in your collection, and you won't have to worry about going back to your PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 2 to play the other ones and stuff.
I actually found Yakuza 3 at a nearby GameStop. I'm not going to name the GameStop because I know people are going to rate it, but I was considering buying it, but then I was like, shit, wait, doesn't the collection come out soon? And yeah, Yakuza 5, it's unfortunate what happened to it with it not getting a physical release here in America. I know they're using the Japanese box art for it. Or wait, no. This is just going to be is this physical collection going to be what art are they going to use is the question.
I'm not sure, but it's for the day one edition, it's gonna come with a PS3 box, just an empty box of Yakuza 5 and stuff, just to add into your collection and stuff, which is nice. I'll admit it's nice, but when I first saw that, I thought that it was going. I thought it was gonna be Yakuza 5 is on PS3, and why is it not on the PS4? But I realized it's just the box, so. Thank God for that, because I probably would not have bought it if Yakuza 5 was only on the PS3, because that would have been kind of a waste, that's for sure.
I don't remember the events leading up to what caused the Yakuza 5 to not have
I don't
to
know.
not get a.
I don't know either. Maybe it's just something that they wanted to do because it's just something that they wanted to do, I guess. Because they'll probably do the same for Judgment when the PS5 comes out. They're probably gonna release Judgment for the PS5 and do that. But I
need to get Judgment.
Yeah, you definitely got to get Judgment. The game Judgment is a lot of fun. I love the protagonist, and I love it. It's just it's basically instead of playing as a thug, you're playing as a detective and stuff, and it's kind of a new twist on there.
And it takes place in the, as a matter of fact, I think it takes place in Kamurocho as well.
Yes, it does. It takes place in the same universe as Yakuza, and that's one of the reasons why I got it. Because I first thought I wasn't going to like it because I thought it was just going to be like a Yakuza spin-off or just like an expansion or something like that. But it's actually really good. I mean, it's just really good. I mean, of course, I played in the Japanese audio and stuff, but because that's how I do it. I mean, because if you're gonna make a game like that takes place in Japan, you got to have the Japanese voice acting, so it doesn't suffer with what happened with Onimusha 2, Samurai's Destiny, and Onimusha 3, Demon Siege, which had only the English voice acting, which was a big turnoff for me because. Why would you make the first one with the Japanese audio, but 2 and 3 not to have them? That doesn't make any sense because this was freaking PlayStation 2 on a DVD-ROM. I mean there was no reason to not include dual audio.
I guess having it in Japanese also enhances the authenticity of it. Although to be fair, I'm also more than willing to give the English soundtrack, the English voice track a try at least, because they put in as much work as the Japanese voice actors, so I might as well at least give them a listen.
Speaking of Japanese voice acting and stuff, it's actually interesting that the original Resident Evil actually there was a Japanese audio track for the original Resident Evil, but it was so bad that they just they just scrapped it and kept it in English and stuff with Japanese subtitles. Because it was interesting when I first learned about the Japanese version of Resident Evil that I did not know that the Resident Evil, Biohazard and stuff like that in Japan was in English with Japanese subtitles. I did not know that. I thought it was just going to be in Japanese, because that's the country they were from. And I learned about this in 2008, and I'm thinking, oh, I get what they did here. Since it takes place in an American midwestern town and stuff, they kept it in English. And I know Konami did the same with Silent Hill. They just did the English voice acting for that and stuff. So yeah, like that's what the same with Konami did too. Like, and I know certain games would do that because Nintendo has done that with their Mario games. I saw a Japanese version of Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, and the text was all in Japanese, but the voices were in English. And I'm thinking, oh, that's pretty interesting. And I'm like, I didn't know. It just surprised me that they would actually do that because Japanese companies are making or made games with English voice acting and with Japanese subtitles. I mean, you would think it was since it's from Japan, you'd think they would make it in Japanese voice, but I guess from what I learned at the time, Japanese are fluent in English and stuff like that too, so they understand it pretty well and stuff.
I know that Japanese companies like to, when it comes to Resident Evil, they like to commission English voice actors and actresses over in Los Angeles saying, yo, I need you to record these lines for me. Can you do that? And I think they also get asked for them to film, asked for like an American studio to film some of the live action scenes in the original PlayStation 1 titles.
Yeah, like original Resident Evil and stuff like that, because like it's just I heard a story about because like the reason why the acting was very cheap and stuff like that and such was because of the budget they were on and stuff, and that's why the cutscenes in the original Resident Evil looked very cheap. And of course the actress who played as Jill in the cutscenes, she was in distraught from being bitten by all the mosquitoes when filming.
Oh yeah, what happened with that?
Well, just like it was just they were on a budget and stuff when that happened, and just that's what it was. Just like being bitten by mosquitoes, that's just to be annoying. At least it's better than being bitten by bees or yellow jackets or anything like that. That's for sure.
Something tells me that this had to be filmed in Michigan just because.
Well, who knows where it was filmed, but like wherever it was, it's just
because of all those mosquitoes.
Yeah, or it could have been somewhere in Japan or something like that too. But like, it's just I know we've been talking about Resident Evil a lot here. Just that like it was just in my mind when talking about Resident Evil 0. So this is not just a Resident Evil podcast, people. Believe me, we'll be talking about other stuff in case you guys are skimming through this and stuff because we're already going on 28 minutes here. We've been talking about a lot, but still, it's just one of those things there. You know, we're the Burgers and Fries game talk. So that's basically what it is, and like because like I'm trying to think here like. When it comes to me, like so one of the reasons why I put in the Japanese audio is because I'm kind of a thing like I'm picky when it comes to the lip syncing. The lip syncing matches up to the Japanese, not the English. I'm going to put it in the Japanese. That's just who I am. Games like Ace Combat and stuff, they recorded in English first, so the lip syncing matches up to the English. So I'm going to keep that in English. So that's in Castlevania Limited Innocence, Curse of Darkness, they recorded them in English first, so the lip syncing will match up to the English, not the Japanese. So I keep those in English. It's weird, I know it's weird, but that's just me. That's just who I am. Why do I do it? I don't know. Huh?
A more recent example of this has to be Dragon Ball FighterZ, where when the fighters are making their intro and you're playing in English, the lip sync will be way off to a point where you can actually call it out and while they're talking. It's really awkward when it happens.
Yeah. Because I know the same thing gonna happen with Dragon Ball Z Burst Limit because it was one of the few Dragon Ball games where the lip syncing did not match up to the English. I know Soul Calibur 4 was like the 2 where the lip syncing and the cutscenes did not match up to the English, only to the Japanese, and that was the first there. So that was one of the first things I started putting in the Japanese audio and stuff. Like when I watch anime, I put it in Japanese. Too, and there's also those NIS America compile hard games like Death and Request and Hyperdimension Neptunia, Mark II and stuff like that, and V2 and Victory. When you put it in the English, not only does the lip syncing not match up, but there's not as much dialogue log in the game as there is when you put the Japanese on. Do you get what I mean there, Lunar?
Hey, could you explain to me, what do you mean by not as much dialogue?
Well, there are certain cutscenes that are just still images of them with text and stuff like that. But when you put in the Japanese, it would actually show them talking in those cutscenes and stuff and that wouldn't be in English. Do you get what I mean now?
My theory for that is they probably were running out of time, or just didn't want to reshoot any of those in English. So they said they probably just made them just slap on the portraits for when English dubbing was turned on.
Well, yeah, like it's just because the perfect example was Death and Request. I never played that game in the English voice setting. I knew the voice setting would be bad, but then I started to be curiosity, look up a walkthrough of it of someone playing it with the English voice acting, and I saw that like certain of the cutscenes did not have any voice acting in them because of the English tracks. So the Japanese one was the way to go, and I like that. I mean, sure, there are a couple cutscenes in the Japanese version that did not have any voice acting, but there was nothing compared to how many cutscenes did not have any voice acting for the English. That's one of the things with having the Japanese audio in those JRPGs. You get more spoken dialogue.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other game where I could see that happening.
Oh, I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen with the Atelier games, Mugen Souls. Seen it happen with some of the Neptunia games and all that stuff. I mean, I see it happen because I played Neptunia Mark II in English first, but then when I replayed it, I played it with the Japanese. When I was big into like that, just putting stuff in Japanese, and I was thinking to myself, and I said to myself out loud, I don't remember this scene having voice acting. I don't remember this scene having voice acting either. The Japanese version of Auto Track has more voice acting. Good thing I decided to switch to it and stuff, because a part of me wanted to for the longest time, but then one day I decided to do it when I was just, oh, dude, I think it was playing Sonic Adventure on the PS3 or watching an anime or playing Soul Calibur 4. So that's one of those games got me to like be a fan of Japanese audio and stuff like that in games. I don't know which one it was, but I guess it's better not to know.
I'm more so a fan of dubbing. But yeah, to each their own. I remember I remember every time I'd watch anime as a kid and they didn't have the dub available for it yet, and I'd watch the sub version. My family would look at me like I'm crazy whenever they'd pass my room and they'd hear like these Japanese people yelling and sword clashing and shit.
Yeah, like it's just like I remember like like my family thinks it's a little weird too that I watch that stuff in Japanese stuff. It's just who I am. I mean, I like that stuff. I mean, and I like subtitles. I mean, I watched the entire series of Sailor Moon in Japanese with English subtitles, and I'm glad I did because like it was a better experience.
To each their own. It was mostly because I guess I grew up on dubs, and I'm more accustomed to them. Like, I'll still watch a Japanese show sub. Like, earlier today, someone pulled me to watch Demon Slayer with them, and it was subbed. It was pretty good. I've never seen Demon Slayer before until today, but yeah.
I never seen stuff like that because, like, my taste in anime is very different. Like, I like a lot of the obscure stuff like Symphogear or Shirobako or, like, Mahou Shoujo Madoka Magica or Ms. Yamazuki, I forget this one. Ms. Yamazuki loves ramen noodles like that. I mean, like it's a funny anime. I forget the name of it. I'm trying to think. It's Ms. something, but I'm sure I'll remember it. I think it's Ms. Koizumi loves ramen noodles. It's one of those type of things, and of course I like slice of life animes like Is the Order of a Rabbit and stuff, and just that stuff. But I mean, this isn't the video game part, but just. There are anime-like games that are like that with are better in Japanese and stuff, and some games are only in Japanese. Perfect example, Blue Reflection, and like the latest Atelier games like the Atelier Lulu and the Shion of Ireland and stuff like that, and all those things and stuff.
And Digimon Story, both of the Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth games are also in Japanese only.
I didn't know about that because I never played a Digimon game before in my life, so I know nothing about that. But I know a couple of my subscribers want me to review some Digimon games on the PlayStation. But truth is, I just don't really have an interest in playing them because I never cared for Digimon. I mean, I know I'm supposed to do what the fans say, but those Digimon games are so expensive, and just like something can be really expensive. It just isn't worth it. Is the thing.
The PS4 games are amazing. I'm talking like the Cyber Sleuth titles. I have not touched Digimon World yet, but I've been hearing lots of great things about it.
Yeah, definitely, and because like it just like, I remember that craze. Digimon when Digimon was popular, Pokemon was popular, and stuff, and all those were popular. I mean, I played Pokemon Blue version and beat it, and I played Pokemon Yellow. I mean, but around that time, I was kind of getting tired of Pokemon and stuff because you're 11 years old, you're getting older, and you're just kind of getting tired of Pokemon as a thing, and just Digimon just never got into. So just the thing, I was just kind of done with Pokemon. I mean, my Pokemon phase only lasted for about like a year or two.
Pokemon phase was on and off. It started back in mid 2011, and then it started again back in what late 2015 when I someone gave me a DS and a copy of Pokemon Diamond, and
Oh.
then it just got crazy from there.
Yeah, like with me, like I first learned about Pokemon when it first became popular on the Game Boy with the red and blue versions. Then I learned about the anime and just learned more about it. Had Pokemon Snap and Pokemon Stadium and all that stuff, and just they were fun for its time. But as you get older, you just it just be it was a phase that was there and then died off and stuff. It's basically like I'm trying to think. It's like Nintendo. It's like the Nintendo. I don't know if you ever heard of Nintendo's on the DS. That was a phase that came and went and stuff. And I know Pokemon. I know it's like with Skylanders. They came and went and stuff. Like the little toy. Like I'm sure I don't know if you ever played Skylanders, but I never did because like I didn't want to feel like buying a game where I had to buy toys stuff because one, it's just a ripoff there. Do you ever play the
Sure.
Skylanders games, or the, or Amiibos or Disney Infinity or any of that crap that they had out back like years ago and stuff?
I remember. Yeah, I was 12 years old when the Toys to Life craze was huge.
Yeah, 'cause I remember I know it started off with Spyro, Skylanders with Spyro, the Skylanders Spyro's Adventure, whatever it's called, and it's like I knew about it, and like it just I was my brother and I were doing some Christmas shopping for our family and stuff, and he saw the little thing and he asked me what it was, and he goes, I told him this is Skylanders Spyro's Adventure. You put a toy on the portal device there, and then you can place a character. Like if you want to play a Spiral, you put the extra Spiral on top of it, and that's basically what it was. And like it was a phase that came and went because like it's just. I mean, yeah, for a kid, they'll want to get the toys and play with their toys and stuff on a game console, but just that. Little did anyone know that it only lasts for years and stuff like that, and just go away. It's kind of like with virtual reality, like the PlayStation VR and stuff like that. That's a phase that's gonna come and go. I mean, I like virtual reality, but I don't think I would play it when I'm at my house all the time. I mean, like if I were to play virtual reality, I'd go to Dave and Buster's and play Virtual World or something like that, which only lasts about 7 minutes or so.
The virtual reality thing, it's kind of picking back up. I mean, I've heard mere mention of it today at my IT class earlier, and there's also, and across the street in my hometown from my house, there's like this little virtual reality club or something.
Wait, say again about your virtual reality. Wait, say it to virtual reality clip. You kind of counter. Say again. Say that thing all over again.
What I was saying was that when it comes to virtual reality, it's somewhat getting back up there in terms of popularity. I remember hearing it being VR being brought up earlier today in my IT class, and I also remember there's across the street from my house in my hometown. There's a little virtual reality club in the shopping center.
Oh yeah, like I have played virtual reality and it is fun, but just like something to bring home and play, just not my cup of tea because like that's the thing. Like there are certain games on the PS4 that they give you the option to do virtual reality, but the ones that are mandatory for virtual reality, PlayStation VR, I will not play them because like it's same with me when I go to IMAX theater. Like when I go to IMAX theater and see that 3D, it gives me a headache, and I'm sure if you play in VR for so long, it would give you a headache too.
I don't fuck with those 3D glasses mainly because I don't want to spend a few extra dollars just for some damn 3D glasses, some shit.
I don't even know how much the PlayStation VR even costs these days. I'm sure it's gone down quite a bit because it's been out for a while, but I'm sure it's still pretty expensive. I mean, like it was like for $10 or something like that, and maybe it'd be worth looking into just to try for fun and say, oh, to see what it was like back then. But to buy it now and waste all that money on it, just not my cup of tea. You know what that reminds me of, Lunar?
Uh,
It reminds me of those like rock band and guitar hero kits where they had the guitar, the microphone, the drums. You spend like $180 on those things just to like just to get all that stuff so you can get can get the complete set and stuff to do vocals, guitar, and drums and all that stuff, and they would have some faults too. I mean, like, because I don't know if you were into like Guitar Hero stuff at that, but
Yeah.
but when I first got into that stuff, I was big into it, and that's the thing. I just didn't. I mean, it was good for its time, but then after a while, they started releasing Rock Band 3, then Guitar Hero 5, and all that stuff. Pretty much took all out of the rhythm based genre. So now I don't buy stuff. You know what I play now for like if I want to play rhythm based game? You know what I do now?
The Hatsune Miku games. I've heard a lot of
Bingo.
them.
Yes, I play Hatsune Miku Prodigy of Future Tour on my PS4. And it's got like 240 songs together, and they're going to be adding more when the new Vocaloid game comes out soon for the Nintendo Switch. So that's going to be tons of content to keep you entertained. And you know what the good news is? You don't need a special controller. You don't need to waste so much money on stuff like that. I mean, sure, it's a little pain to how when the songs come out at different times and stuff, but still, it's better than nothing. You had a bunch of songs. I mean, like, sure, you had to buy all the songs and stuff, and it was costly, but nowhere near as bad as it was when you got those bundles for Rock Band and Guitar Hero.
Yeah. And matter of fact, it got so bad that a lot of stores, most namely GameStop and Walmart, and I guess any other department store, was having trouble with keeping the inventory of the plastic guitars, so they started either sending them to recycling plants or just throwing them away completely.
Yeah, and those guitars had problems too, like the buttons would stick and they would break on you and stop working. Same would happen with the drums too, and the microphones didn't have many problems with them because I like to do the vocals the best. But like
Oh, sorry.
go ahead, no, you go ahead.
Matter of fact, when I first started my YouTube channel 6 years ago, the one thing I had to use because my laptop microphone sucked was a Rock Band mic.
Yeah. Oh, really? Well, like just that the phones were very similar to one another and stuff. So that's what it was. I mean, like it was different for everyone, like because. Cause like when it came to like Rock Band, Guitar Hero and stuff, like Rock Band was better for something you could do more. But Guitar Hero World Tour came out, and while I like the graphic style for Guitar Hero World Tour, it's just with Rock Band did it better. It had more songs and more content in it and stuff. I mean, of course you had Guitar Hero World Hit, Mega Hits, whatever it was called. It had everything from Guitar Heroes 1, 2, and 3 and stuff. But still, not really worth owning and stuff as a thing because you already got a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. So what I wanted to talk about, I actually learned about this a few days ago. Again, in my IT class, every morning we have a few people send in. What they do is they get up to the smart board and they talk about their big news story of the day. I found out that Atari was going to open a few hotels of their own. They are opening right now. They're planning on opening 8 hotels. Let me pull up the list right now. Yeah, here it is. The cities that they're going to open the hotels in are Phoenix, Arizona, Austin, Texas, Chicago, Illinois, Denver, Colorado, Las Vegas, Nevada, San Francisco, California, San Jose, California, and Seattle, Washington.
Jeez. Wow, that's a lot of hotels.
Now, I'm more disappointed that they didn't open it in New Mexico because that's where they buried all of those E.T. cartridges.
Huh. Oh, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot about that.
That's why I'm disappointed they didn't open one of them in New Mexico.
Well, yeah, no, that would have been funny if they opened it like right next to the burial site for the E.T. games.
So I think it was just in the middle of a desert.
Yeah, that's the thing. It would have been funny if they opened it up in the middle of a desert, to where like, oh, this is where these ET games were once buried.
Oh man, so I'm kind of hurt. They didn't want to open one in over here in DC. I'm kind of hurt, but hey. So I'm looking on their website right now, and they said that these hotels are going to be video game themed. I guess they're going to have like little, not only they're going to have memorabilia dedicated to Atari, they're also going to be having, I guess, maybe, video screens, games you can play, Atari games. Mm-hmm. I hope one of those hotels at least has E.T.
Yeah, I hope, then people will be able to experience what that game was like, even though it's bad.
And the game, I said games. I'm looking on the website right now. If you sign up for it, by the way, this is not sponsored, but if you sign up for it, you also get a discount on hotel stays and the stuff you buy from the hotels.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Oh,
Yeah, because like I never really played the games in a hotel before. 'Cause I know like they have those ads where it says free play free Nintendo 64 games for like an hour or so like that, or like thing is where's the console at and stuff. Where's the console at and stuff. Like well, how can you play? There's no console and stuff, and how would it even be?
going further into the article, it said that it's not clear which games will be featured at the hotels, but they said that there are going to be games there.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it'll be for the best then. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Definitely. But like, because like that is an interesting idea. Can you imagine if Sony made something like that? For, like based on the PlayStation, that I'd be there in seconds. It'd be cool like if there was a competing with Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft having a competing hotel thing to play their new console stuff instead of like E3 and stuff. That actually be pretty interesting there.
And that'd be pretty cool. It'd be a good promotion for hotels because what was it? Especially no, it'd be good for competition for hotels in Los Angeles since that's where E3 is, and yeah, Los Angeles is like what the entertainment capital of the U.S. So why not?
Yeah, why not? That's right. I mean, like, what's the worst that could happen? I mean, like,
And and on the topic of video game themed stores, I gotta say the Nintendo store in New York City is the best thing ever. There's one segment of the store that has the entire history of Nintendo, but not only are they like giving you the history of Nintendo, they have the actual consoles with them, including like the Virtual Boy.
oh yeah, so I remember. Yeah, like I heard about it now with like the Virtual Boy and stuff. I mean, I never played the Virtual Boy ever, but still, like, it's just I don't know if I would. If I'd ever go to a store just to play that thing and get a headache from it and stuff, you know?
And oh man, they also have some pretty dope ass shirts too. There's a shirt with Mario coming out of a sewer in the middle of Times Square. The store is also where fans gather to watch every Nintendo Direct. There's a huge projector. There's a huge screen and projector in like this one big part of the store where fans can either play games or watch Nintendo Directs or E3 presentations.
Oh, really? And, like, I didn't know about that. 'Cause, like, that's kind of like the future of E3. It's kind of like the future of the E3 press conference and stuff. Because, like, that's actually like something that may happen in the future because Sony's not going to be showing up at the E3 this year again. So, like, they're probably going to just gonna do with what Nintendo does. It's like do it all recorded and stuff like that, whatever they do.
I think it's better just to do pre-recorded because who in the world like I really there are times where I just feel low-key obligated to watch a live stream dedicated to whatever E3 presentation is going on, and I just want to get it over with in it just quickly.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's just we're gonna have to end this soon because we're going on 51 minutes already and stuff. So we have to end it soon, so it's not too long.
I'm good to go. I think that's all I can talk about.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I can talk about too. Just like forgive me if I was stumbling a little bit at the end about the Nintendo thing. It's just well, I'm not really big about the Nintendo store because I'm more of a Sony guy and stuff. So that's the thing. But do you got anything else to say before we end this?
I'm all good. Just keep it locked.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's just that's it for this episode of Burgers and Fries Game Talk. I'll be expect the next episode coming up soon. And that's pretty much all like I said. This is Tony and Lunar. Peace and out, and see you all in the next episode.